صلى عليه الله في ذكر الكرام وسلم صلى عليه الله في ذكر.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The weeping of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was a man of complete honor and mercy and kindness. Rasulullah had undergone many hardships and stresses in his life that would make one yield and succumb to the desires of the world in order to avoid effort and sacrifice that is pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal. From many of his hardships, the one that would hit him the most here would be when one of his family members or close ones passed away. Crying and weeping could be done out of many reasons. Some of these reasons could be natural, like crying over a loved one who's passed away. Some could be halal, like crying because of the command of Allah being broken. And some forms of crying are clearly disliked, like the cry of lies, as scholars have interpreted, when one cries and promises to not commit a sin, but ends up falling for the same sin again. Or even prohibited forms of crying, like noha, which was a trade that was widespread in the times of ignorance, where people would pay professional wailers to come to events such as funerals, and they would cry their eyes out. They would beat their chests and even rip their shawls and garments. The Prophet ﷺ would not associate himself with this at all, and has told us explicitly in a few narrations that we should stay away from this sort of crying. Anyhow, the Prophet is known to have cried endless nights in salah, especially at the times of reading verses of the Quran, which were aimed specifically at himself out of sorrow for this ummah, or the fact that he would be called forward on the day of resurrection to stand as a witness against those people who rebelled against his ways, as is established in the narration of Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu. Once he was reading the verses of Surah An-Nisa to the Prophet, and when he reached the verse number 41, the Prophet literally broke down into tears. فكيف إذا جئنا من كل أمة بشهيد وجئنا بك على هؤلاء شهيدا. How will it be when we bring from every nation a witness, and we bring you, O Muhammad, to be a witness against these people? It has always remained evident hitherto that the Prophet cried overwhelmingly over verses of the Quran, and in regards to those who recite and are filled with fear and tear up, Allah has praised them immensely and has classified them as salihin, righteous people. I ask Allah the Almighty that He grants us the ability to build awareness of Him, so that we refrain from prohibited acts and strive towards His Jannah. I make dua to Allah that He makes us from the Ahlul Quran, those who have a unique and inherent love for the Quran, and may He soften our hearts, so we can also cry in our ibadah, just as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ya Habib Allah, Ya Rasul Allah, Ya Habib